Well, coming in onto the 18th hole, Corey Perry lines up his shot. Oh, it was a bogey. And the Anaheim Ducks are unable to deal with the greens here in San Jose. And this is Teal 10 After Dark. This was just for you people having to watch and deal with the Golf Channel. Oh, my Lord. Another sweep, the second sweep in Sharks franchise history. And, of course, we start off live on the scene with our buddy Puck Guy.
Good evening, everyone. It is a beautiful night here in Teal Town, USA, as this place is still electric following a Sharks victory. I mean, we're like 5 minutes out of the game, and there's still plenty of people on the concourse. Not of an easy variety, unlike the other night where the Sharks beat the Ducks 8-1. This one was a little more tougher, and you expected that. And the crowd showed it a little bit. Despite getting that early goal 5 minutes in, you could sense that the Ducks were coming on strong late in the second and onward with the third when they did tie it up, and then Hurdle got to bounce back. It was just a great atmosphere, especially after Hurdle gets that game-winning goal in the third period. Craziness. But this crowd was alive and boisterous throughout the evening.
Well, how was the opening? I mean, how was it comparative to the game three, and what else you got for us?
It was definitely loud in here in the intro. Again, you got to give kudos to the organization for getting that stuff done. It was just incredible. You definitely got the crowd going. You could sense the excitement for having a potential sweep and clinching and handshake and everything like that. All in all, good times. It was definitely crowd. It was still going nuts. Tickets to round two, it was showed up, will go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. At the Sharks box office and on Ticketmaster. And the hashtag will be Nighty Night. So that's a scene from here. All in all, a great atmosphere. The crowd was really into it. They were on pins and needles in the third, and naturally so. I thought the Sharks defensively played an okay game, despite just giving up one goal. I thought they were a little better with their stick checking and everything on Monday night, but nonetheless, definitely got the job done, and can't wait to be back here for round two. Should be fun.
All right, man. Thank you, sir.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Take it easy, brother. So that's how it is over there in Teal Town, USA. As always, if you want to be a part of the show, do us a favor, hit that Twitter hashtag Teal Town USA. Follow us at Teal Town USA on Twitter, and you're here on the YouTube. So smash that subscribe button if you will. So, boys, oh my Lord, let's get into it. Oh, I have notes. So, I mean, coming into this one, gets off and Perry had accounted for 26 penalty minutes of the 50 that the Ducks had taken in the first three games. And Sorensen would start us off at 14-17 of the first from Burns and Carlson. Got his own rebound, and the best part of this was seeing Getzlaf in the net actually get a paw on that puck, but still went in. And what can you say about Sorensen? 4 goals, 2 assists in 10 playoff games. I think he's going to stick around, guys. Ian, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, I mean,
that's the first period. I mean,
that fourth line's been great all series, so it wasn't really a shock that they got us on the board to start. Marcus Sorensen, like you said, I mean, it's just that whole line's been great. I've been an up and down guy on Melker Karlsson, but I think he's been good. Eric Fair's been great. I mean, he's really solidified that line, and having Sorensen's speed, it just really helps. And I have nothing but good things to say about Marcus Sorensen right now, who's had a pretty up and down season.
Oh, absolutely. But man, dude brings it in the playoffs. What say you, Chris?
Great goal, obviously, and like Ian said, the fourth line has brought it all series, and that's a big part of the reason why they were up in this series. It was a little rougher tonight overall, but still, it's the depth they've had has shown all series long.
Oops, sorry, had to get the camera off me. Yeah,
you camera hog, man, you want all the fame for yourself, AJ.
I know. I you know, when you get when you're trying to, you know, run every little thing, all of a sudden that's what happens. So the Sharks, Lindholm trips Donskoy at 446. The Sharks unfortunately get 0 shots on goal on the power play, and I thought the Ducks really, I don't know, they used that to kind of help them finish off the first period strong, even though Jones had a couple solid deniers. Anything else that stood out for you guys from the first, Ian?
I mean, not particularly. I think overall, the Ducks came out. I mean, their season was on the line, so I thought they came out and they played, a pretty tight first period. I mean, this game was more what I was expecting the series to be like, to be completely honest. Like, I thought we were going to get a lot of what we saw tonight, which is why I predicted a 6-game series in my bracket.
Yeah, as did I. We saw a ton of shenanigans over the course of the first 3 games. Tonight, I don't know what it was. Ducks seemed to really trying to be driving possession a bit more, a little more hanging on to the puck, a little more east-west passing. What did you see different in the game from the Ducks tonight as opposed to the previous 3 there, Chris?
Well, for one, they were almost all game long. They were rolling 3 lines. Like they were going for it. Because they knew they had nothing else. They played a lot more disciplined. I mean, they still took their shots because they're the Ducks. But yeah, they cleaned up a lot of the slop, which is why I wasn't that surprised when it ended up being so close. And Jones did save their bacon too. But the Ducks cleaned up their act about 2 games too late, probably.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on. I have literally put the camera on you, like I've clicked on you, and it's just sitting on me the entire time. I don't know what is going on. It probably has something to do with the lower thirds, right?
My lower thirds never work anymore. I don't know what's going on.
I honestly, I don't know.
I think you may have hidden us from the broadcast, but either way, I mean, yeah, we won't troubleshoot this too much on air because we know what great radio that makes for.
Have we turned it on and off?
Yes. Have you restarted the show again?
Is it plugged in?
Can you switch the show on and off again?
I think the other thing that I noticed from this game too, though, was and this was brought up on the broadcast, obviously, was how much they possessed the puck. Like the Ducks, they weren't trying to dump and chase as much. They were trying to carry the puck as much as possible, trying to carry the puck into the zone, which I think led to a lot less turnovers than we've seen previously when they were, just throwing the puck into the zone and seeing how many people they could kill before they got to the puck again.
Yeah, they were carrying it more. They were relying less on retrieval because the Sharks were getting out of the zone. Previously, I mean, they were zipping it up and out of the zone. Drew Remenda commented on that quite a bit when he was on KNBR yesterday, saying that that's one of the key things is the Sharks retrieve the puck quickly and they would get it up the wing very quickly, and the Ducks would be pushed back because they had a couple speedy wingers that would be able to get up and out of the zone so fast. But yeah, tonight they were carrying it and they give the Sharks a chance to feed their transition game, which is tactical, probably a good move because they were getting eaten up trying to do that. So they carried it more. They set up behind, once they got in, they also set up behind the net a lot more than they were because they didn't get a lot of that going on. Also, the penalty kill tonight for them, it looked like the Ducks penalty kill I was expecting to see all series long because the Sharks had a lot of success against, I think it was the number 5 penalty kill this year. So the Ducks penalty kill finally looked like what I thought it would look like all series.
Yeah.
It probably helped that they weren't out to dry quite as often. How's the troubleshooting going, AJ?
I'm trying. So now we're just looking at a beautiful photo of SAP Center because I don't know what is going on. Like I've literally focused it on you. It's not switching. I put it on Ian. It's not switching. Welcome to my nightmare.
Chat, you can hear us, right? You can hear me and Ian, even if you can't see us, right? Just if you can put one in the chat. But yeah, this show is going swimmingly already. The hangouts would totally croak on when we're having our celebration show, right? That's what would happen.
It's just so depressing.
I'm not. I mean, I have a face for radio anyway, so it's probably better this way.
All right. Well, going into the second, I mean, the Ducks brought a lot more sustained O time to open this one. Pavs goes off for tripping at 12:47. Killed well by keeping the Ducks on the perimeter. The Ducks got 0 shots on goal on that one. And this is what ended up being kind of a parade to the penalty box. The refs really slowing down the game for the second period. Richie slashes LeBanc at 9:42. That was the 9th slash of the series that the Ducks had taken at that point. Then Meyer goes off for high-sticking Raquel at 6:58. And on another beautiful play from Sorensen, who just buries the puck with 4 Ducks on him to kill time in the corner while the other boys can change. Then Fair gets called for hooking with 59 seconds left. What I thought was a pretty weak call after letting a lot of other stuff go. And the Ducks finished strong, and they almost scored. Almost. If there was 20 minutes and 4 seconds in a period, the Ducks would have scored. Ian, you on the second period.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a little clenching going on there. The Ducks really came on, and then you really felt like something was going to happen, and then thankfully it happened after time had expired, because you could just feel it coming. Like, you knew, okay, the Ducks are probably going to break through at some point. But I give the Sharks a lot of credit, though, because I think even though the Ducks really did come on in the second and probably had their best period of hockey in the entire series, the Sharks, they weren't like they were completely outclassed. They still mostly held their own. It wasn't like they were just, the Ducks just suddenly, smacked them around for a bunch of, for the whole period. So I give the Sharks a lot of credit, but it was definitely the Ducks period as far as, the way the game flowed.
Yeah, Chris, what about you, sir?
Yeah, like Ian said, it was definitely the strongest period the Ducks had in the entire series. The Sharks did not make a fatal mistake, at least not until there was not enough time left, because that failed clear nearly ended up with it back in the back of the net. But overall, I mean, the Sharks weathered the storm tonight in that period, especially because the Ducks had a lot of zone time. The Sharks managed not to make the fatal mistakes, just some bad ones.
Right.
And just to address the comments in the chat saying, everybody asking, why am I looking at this photo of SAP? It's because for some reason, Google just wants to be a pain in my ass tonight. I don't know what is going on. I've set it up so Chris is presenting. I've set it up where it's just, Lord.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Technology, kids.
Yeah, instead of our little toolbox thing not working tonight, Hangouts itself is barely working, but at least you can hear us, and that's the most important part. And you get to see AJ's lovely face.
Well, I was going to say,
podcast long.
I'll give it to you this way. Do you want to just see me, or should I put the picture back on the SAP Center and you can still see us? So, is there a way to put a poll in the chat real quick?
Do 1 for SAP Center or 69 for AJ.
So not right. Yeah, you know what? It would be nice if I could twist the cam so literally all you could see is Kayla in the background. Let me see if we can.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe if you have a movable webcam here, you could just put the kitty on webcam.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing 69, so I think it's you.
Hey, Kayla.
So we need stock photos that you can put up and be like from wherever. It's Chris. It's you. Yeah. We have
Okay. So nice. No, not one person put 1. Okay, thank you. So going into the third period, Raquel scores on the power play, 5-hole on what was a set play. Oh no, you were offside. PDB with one of his PDB-esque challenges. That was fantastic. I mean, you couldn't have pulled that off. I mean, it was just so perfect. Let's see here. 1757, Montour, high sticking on Kane. Again, another weak call. So 2 weak calls, each one going both ways. Carlson, high sticking on Walensky at 523. The Ducks, though, would eventually tie this one up. Burns just on a horrific giveaway. The Ducks score on that one, but then Hurl would come back, tipping a beautiful Vlasic shot from the point, and with that, they survive the storm. Sweep. The Ducks move on to the next round. So, Chris, how about you on the third period?
Yeah, in the third period, I was like, uh-oh, this one's destined for overtime after that Burns ill-advised blocked shot. I was figuring that it was probably going to be one of those overtime games. Like, okay, get prepared to stay up late tonight. But almost immediately after that, Hurdle, I think it finally determined that it was Hurdle who deflected it. I didn't see the replay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Hurdle gets a nice deflection there, get it in, and then they had to hang on to that one for the rest of the game. But I mean, they weren't just playing in shell mode. I mean, the Ducks were playing desperately, and the Sharks were not too conservative, so I wasn't that unhappy with how they played. I mean, they did the best they could for that last 5 minutes or so when the Ducks were just bringing it as hard as they could.
Well, and the best part being as well, that's Hurdle's second game-winning goal of this series. I mean,
fun must be always.
Just insane. And I haven't updated my stats. Let me see. So it was Sorensen from help me out here, boys. The opening goal was Sorensen from what? Pavelski and who?
Give me a second. I gotta bring it
I
up.
was gonna say, how do you guys not have the the NHL page?
I don't know.
I have one monitor since I'm traveling, so.
Oh, see, he at least has a good excuse. I have none. I should.
Yeah, Ian. What the heck, man?
Yeah, get on this, buddy.
I'm on it. Give me a second.
By the time you get there, I'll be.
I know you'll already have it. It's fine.
What do you got? AOL? You got Puck Guy connection tonight? What's going on?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I shouldn't.
I'm waiting on you, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay, never
mind.
mind. Sorensen from Burns and Carlson. You're too late.
Sorry.
Sorry. So
it just went over you with a whammy there.
That's fine.
yeah, right. So and Hurdle, Vlasic, unbelievable. So Hurdle, let's see, Vlasic. So what we got? So far we got 6 points from the defense, and 8 points from the fourth line. Are you kidding me? And coming into this one, we pointed it out earlier. Coming into this one, the Sharks' fourth line was plus 8, and I think the bottom 6 were plus. Or they good for 12 points, plus 8, and Anaheim donut for their bottom 6, and I believe like minus 12. I want to say.
Sounds about right.
I mean, when you gave up, 8 goals, so.
Well, it makes sense in part to how tonight ended up also because the Ducks barely played their fourth line, and that's part of the reason why their top lines weren't the issue. I mean, they didn't score much, but their top lines weren't giving up a lot either. They were, largely playing to a draw. Also, Vlasic had probably one of the roughest nights I've ever seen from him. Like he was definitely struggling tonight. He was making some not so great decisions. He had a few pucks that maybe bounced on him. I'm not sure. He kind of misplayed them a bit, but that one where he tried to pull a Dan Boyle and just skate the puck end to end there. Like that's part of the reason why you're so good, man, is to stay in your lane. You're not Dan Boyle. You are Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and it's okay. We love you. We love you just the way you are, man.
I think the other thing that maybe was kind of cool about tonight is because everything was on the line for the Ducks, is that we saw what I felt was a lot less shenanigans. You didn't see near as much douchebaggery from Perry. Yeah, you saw Kessler try to get into it with Burns there in the third, which I thought was pretty funny, but a lot less in the shenanigans department tonight, which I think is good, and obviously gives the Sharks now a week off to sit home, get healthy, dust off the bumps and bruises, hope that just hope. I mean, we got to talk about the Golden Knights now, right? I mean, we know the matchup. So was it Baker? But somebody had pointed out, I think Rocket mentioned it too, that he put it together perfectly, that Vegas doesn't have a top line, a second line, a third, a fourth. They have 3 second lines and a third line. And also mentions that they don't have a top defensive pair and a bottom pair. They have 3 middle pairs. So going into this, the Sharks, we can look at like that last game, the last couple that the Sharks played at Vegas. We know that the Sharks beat the Knights the last time they were at SAP. I think that helps. You also look at that game that the Sharks played. When was that? It was when they were on that road trip. It was at the end of the roadie. Where's my calendar? Oh, yeah, the end of that last road trip. They were, 4 and 6 nights. It was the end of the roadie. It was after they had given everything they had versus Nashville. And they still looked good, like a little bit of puck luck. And I think, Ian, the Sharks could have won that game.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the games that they played with the Knights were relatively. I think there was one that kind of went each way that was just not good. But most of the games that the Sharks have played the Knights had been relatively close. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, playoffs are such a different beast, and I'm kind of nervous about the Knights, to be completely honest.
Well, how can you not be? I mean, they've been a Cinderella team this season, Chris.
Yeah, no, the Knights definitely make me nervous because, it's the top to bottom. There is no easy shift against them, and it'll be, this will really test our bottom 6 and see how well they can hold up when they're playing against a much tougher set of guys. I expect also that maybe our top 6 will do a little better in this series than they did in this, because they broke even mostly in this series. They had, Keane had a good game there, but they were largely contained most of the night, or most of the games. It was a few choice goals here and there, in Kane's big game. And yeah, I think it's hard to say because playoffs are a different animal. The season series, if it goes at all like that, they have a shot. I just don't know though.
Yeah, well, and I think you also need to take into account too, those games versus Vegas. I don't believe Sorensen played in those. And I don't know that Paul Martin played in those. Nope. And, it's slightly different. Those very well could have been games that. And
hopefully, Paul Martin won't play in this coming series. Oh my gosh! I hope tonight is what will make Peter DeBoer take him out of the lineup, because the little bit he did play tonight was pretty awful.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled with it, but the results don't lie. So it wouldn't surprise me if Martin is in there, because, hey, this squad just swept the Ducks. So maybe it'll take a game before DeBoer goes, maybe it's a good time to make a change now. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath on that.
But we are going to have to, when we do a preview in about a week or so, when we do a preview, I think that's something we'll have to look into to see who started those games and what the matchups were. I mean, for all we know, that could have been one of those games where Hansen actually got into the lineup. Who knows?
Oh, God forbid that too. I'm pretty happy with our forward lineup from this series, so hopefully it keeps that the same. If the only adjustment is I would take Martin out for that series, because they can, I said it before on the show that they can get away with Martin against the Ducks. I don't know if they can get away with Martin against the Golden Knights.
Yeah,
he's gonna be too big of a liability. You can't shelter him, and that's the other thing. Is the minutes he's played have been heavily sheltered. And when I say that, what I mean is the majority of his starts have been in the offensive zone, He rarely will be starting in the defensive zone. That's Peter DeBoer saying, I can't trust him to start a shift over there because hang him out to dry.
Yeah. I mean, there's that too, and the Ducks gifted us some games here. Let's be honest. I mean, the Ducks absolutely just put a nice little bow on some of the games that we won. That's not going to happen next round. Like, we're not going to get that. Vegas is going to come and play hockey. They're not going to try and goon it up to the point where even their own blogs are calling them an embarrassment.
Yeah, I said that was part of the thing is like the recent, people like the Sharks are so passive now. It's like, well, yeah, that's all they had to be most of this series is just kind of lay back, don't take the bait, and let the Ducks beat themselves. That's a large part of what they won at least 2 of those games, if not 3 of the first 3. They kind of they would play it cool and just wait for the Ducks to screw up, wait for the Ducks to do something stupid, and then take advantage of it. They were not, they weren't overly aggressive at all in the first 3 games. They played very similar to tonight. I mean, the Ducks just executed better tonight than they did in the other couple games.
Yeah. And no retaliation, no doing something stupid. That, to me, that was such a big key. Because there was a couple times, like I think that shot you saw from Perry on Carlson, the shot that LeBanc took in game 2, there was a lot of shenanigans in game 2. A couple things in game 1, but it's a lot of shenanigans. And it seemed like every game had a specific villain. I mean, you could talk about Montour in the first one. You could talk about Kessler in game 1, where he, basically pile drives Hurdle twice in the circle, ends up going off for interference from a dumb play on Hurdle. You got Montour wrapping Timo up, throwing him into the goalie. You got Montour holding Vlasic's head down in the crease. I mean, just seemed like every game did have kind of that heel. And yes,
and you know what though? That's actually, I'm glad you brought that up though about Timo, because last year Timo would have just completely flipped his lid and tried to kill some people on his own. So it goes to show, I think it's a good thing that you bring that up, because I think it's another area where Timo's game is definitely matured as well as he's matured too to the pro game, because there are some games, especially with the CUDA, I found the Diet Lucic came out more with the CUDA, where if something like that happened to Timo Meier was going to go and run somebody and just, and get right down into the stupidity. And, credit to his matured, the way he's matured, because he was, he played, he kept his head down, he kept himself cool. And that's something that even, going back to junior, that Timo Meier would have gone completely unglued from that previously. Yeah.
And this was also the most balanced game, if you think about it. I mean, for both sides, where it's, the hits were nearly identical, 28-27 in favor of San Jose, which really goes to show you that Anaheim changed their game up if San Jose is out hitting you. The faceoffs, 24-22 in favor of Anaheim. The blocks were even at 19 apiece. We know the penalties were, 0 for 4 on the power play for Anaheim, San Jose 0 for 3. So clearly the most even game. Anaheim actually getting 1 extra power play. So I wonder if Carlisle will that be the one talking point he doesn't have in his post game. He can't complain that, I think them penalties would be nice if maybe those evened up or whatever. And it's like, hey, asshole, you guys took 65 more penalties than the Sharks over the course of the regular season. You kind of have, own this. You were 5th in the league in penalties. The Sharks are 29th. So just, own it.
Yeah. Hey, he's doing what he's got to do though. You gotta try and get in the ref's ear a little bit, where, he knows his team, or he knows his team was playing like garbage, but that's what you got to do when you're a coach, because you never know. You can get Furlat to ref a game, and the next thing you know, the Sharks are in the box the whole game.
Yeah. No, I get the idea of the gamesmanship and everything, but I was just hearing him say that, it was just please.
I think the important thing is to acknowledge that not even he believes what he's saying. He's just saying it because he has to.
Well, and, they are asking in the chat. We've already seen Oh, Alain Vigneault get the axe. Now, obviously, we're talking about teams that did not make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? I mean, because it is fodder. It's one of those things that happens during once there's a quick exit from the playoffs. Everybody says, "Does the coach get fired?" It's like, are we going to see the Kings coach get the axe? Which I can't see because
I can't see it. They just
got him.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there for a while because he was the associate coach under Daryl Sutter. So, but I think the Kings. I mean, they didn't score any goals.
Yeah, it's not on the coach. It's that they're, and this is something that Baker brought up as well, is that they're playing older hockey. Right. You know, they're playing just hockey not from yesteryear, but they're playing that heavier, thuggish, slow game versus just everything speed. You look at Pittsburgh, I mean, all the speed and everything. So
no, I think the Kings are in transition. I mean, there was some pundits that didn't have the Kings making the playoffs this year. So I like the Kings are in transition. They just changed, Rob Blake just took over as GM. I don't see that, this happening where I think Stevens, I think they kind of, maybe not playing with host money, but I don't think that the season went bad enough. I mean, considering the injuries they had to deal with through the season, I can't see any big changes coming in LA.
But what about Anaheim? I mean, this is Carlisle's second go, is it not?
Yeah, it's the second go, and I know I said last game on After Dark, where I mentioned that a big part of the reason Carlisle left the first time was because Perry and Getzlaf. Sorry. Getzlaf and Perry ran him out of town. With the way that the lack of discipline that they played with, especially in that last game, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Carlisle goes, but Carlisle's also got a good relationship with the GM in Anaheim. So unless it's like a complete cleaning of the front office, I don't think it's a for sure thing. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but I wouldn't go and run to Vegas and put money on it tomorrow.
Yeah, but I think it's another team that it's older and it's a heavier team. They play an older version of hockey at this point. And the thing I think is going to be really tough for Anaheim, though, dude, they got a lot of money tied up in a lot of guys. And a lot of those guys did not perform during this playoffs.
Right. I mean, Corey Perry -5, no goals, no assists, ton of penalty minutes.
Yeah, but if you go hop on Cap Friendly and bring that team up.
Oh no, I know. 8 million over 8 for him, over 8 for Getzlaf. I mean, it's a mess. And I don't think Gibson was completely healthy, but you don't want to waste this guy. Gibson's a really good goalie, and I don't think you want to waste his prime years on whatever the hell they're trying to do there now.
Yeah. Chris, there's a lot of comments in the chat about the image we're showing. Would you like to elaborate?
Oh yeah, this is a very old school image from the earliest days of the show. If you remember, when Doug Wilson came out in that lovely shirt, I decided to put Doggy's face on it, and I called it Doggy Wilson. And there's a very since we were doing Swear Jar now, I will not repeat the line, but there's a very infamous line you can find if you dig through the archives where I broke Eric. I broke him for a good 60 seconds laughing. So that's one of the more famous moments in the early show history.
Yeah. Rob asking, fact or fiction, Ducks retool this offseason.
I think everyone does, don't they?
I mean, most do, but I'm just those contracts and who do you get to take? I mean, you try to find a team that's trying to make the cap floor. I don't know.
So also about the Ducks, though, it seems like we swept the Canucks 5 years ago and kind of set them into their death spiral. Did we just do the same to the Ducks? Did we officially break the Ducks? That would be nice.
One can hope.
Well, I mean, for a second there, just take a look to next season. If Vegas continues this ridiculousness in the next year, look at them finishing top 3. I think the Sharks, I mean, especially if they re-sign Evander, that's a good look. I mean, just imagine, if you will, for a hot second, say that they don't. Remember, Thornton, end of his, he's at the end of his ride right now. This is his. He signed a 1-year deal last year. There's no guarantee that that Doug Wilson makes him another offer. If I remember correctly, Tierney and Hurdle's contracts are up. So, and that there's going to be a push for Tavares. So,
and Jones, I think his new contract kicks in, and I think there's 1 or 2 other big contracts.
I think Vlasic too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting for on the money front, and I wouldn't surprise me in the least if Thornton would take a haircut if asked, but still, I would at this point, if they re-sign Kane, I would put the Sharks in my book as making top 3, and you would think that Edmonton is going to bounce back. So
you would think
they're not as bad as they were. Like I look at the talent on that team, and I know their defense was really their defense has been their undoing, and they're going to have to do something there. But I look at the talent of the team. They're not as bad as they played this year. They're just not.
Their power play was also abysmal this year. But yeah, I mean, the Sharks, I think, will be right in the mix next year if they re-sign Kane. Jumbo, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if the money is not available there and they only have $3 million left on the cap when it comes down to him, it wouldn't surprise me if he takes just whatever they have left. Because I mean, the reason why they gave him $8 million this year is because they had nothing else to spend that $8 million on.
Right.
Whenever people complain about the number, it's like, that was just here's some money because we have money we're not spending otherwise.
And he took a discount how many times?
Exactly.
He could have cashed in. He could have easily been one of those $8-9 million guys when guys started cashing in.
It was a thank you for being a good soldier contract.
Yeah.
We got money that we aren't spending this year because, well, there's no big, there's nothing that we can spend it on that would make us that much better, without, potentially strapping us. So it was a good move.
And they even reported too that Thornton came out and said he would have taken less if it would have helped to keep Patty here.
Yep.
So
yeah, exactly. So I figure, if they have the same team largely next year and he wants you back and they want him back and they don't have the money, it wouldn't surprise me if he was happy to take less. And I'm pretty sure he still wants to play. Like, if he can play, he will play.
Yeah, I don't think this is a swan song by any stretch.
I'm wondering if he might be back in the second round. I mean, I am genuinely curious, although I'm not totally sure where he would fit in. I think we've talked about this once or twice, but I was thinking third line center, or I don't know.
I think he'd fit perfectly there.
I just don't think that's where Peter DeBoer would put him. That's the part that scares me. I don't trust Peter DeBoer with even a 75% Joe Thornton.
Yeah.
Well, I would expect that they would probably play him in some pretty sheltered minutes, though. That would be the savvy thing to do. Don't lean on him for great defense, because that's coming off an injury like that.
Well, I mean, let's. How do we think the Sharks are going to do versus the Knights? I mean, Fleury's been on a bit of a roll, but for as much pub as Vegas has gotten, because they did sweep the Kings and everything. But if I remember correctly, I mean, I think the Sharks are a better are better than the Kings, and not by a small amount. I think the Sharks are better, better. They're more well-rounded. They're faster. They have better goaltending, and that's saying a lot because Quick put up ridiculous numbers. Yeah, stupid numbers for losing 4 games in a row. I mean, he put up some ridiculous numbers, but I think the Sharks are a better team. And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Vegas win every one of those games by just 1 goal? I mean, LA was not scoring goals. The Sharks can score some goals. So, I mean, Ian, what your thoughts on the matchup? I mean, what do you think the Sharks are going to match up?
I think like I said, it's gonna be a better series hockey wise than the one we just watched, because there's gonna be more skill involved. But this Vegas team scares me, dude. I think that I don't look at, the thing is, I don't look at Vegas. Like when I look at Vegas, I just look at them as a hockey team. I don't look at my expansion team. I don't, oh, this is first year, whatever. No, man, this is a legit team. Like just completely, they're an expansion team in name only. And I think once you can get past that in your head, then I think it's easier to be a little more objective about them. But I mean, like, people have been talking about this team falling off all year, and they just haven't yet. And I don't think it's coming. It's going to be a tough series for the Sharks to get past, and and then obviously the road gets no easier from there.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think about facing Vegas in the next round?
Oh, I could see this series going so many different ways because I think the Sharks could definitely win the series. I think Vegas could definitely win the series. I lean slight edge, to Vegas. I think more likely Vegas can, but I think the Sharks are capable. It's going to be I think it's going to be a lot of games like tonight, a lot of nail biters, a lot of close games because all their ones with the Kings were close. And the Sharks can score, I think, a little better than, I haven't looked at the numbers, but a little better than the Kings. I mean, the Kings have always been a scoring challenge team most of the time, so that's nothing new. If the Sharks can get offense going, I like their chances. But if they, Fleury stands on his head and their offense stagnates, I don't like their chances very much.
See, I think if the Sharks can win that first game by a couple goals, if they can win that first game, say 4-1 or something, or even 3-0, and Jones gets a shot, I think that would scare Vegas. I think it'd be kind of like
the problem that I get concerned with, though. Sorry to cut you off. Is that if Fleury stands on his head, it's the thing that worries me. Is what is Peter DeBoer going to do to respond to that? How bad is he going to blender this team? Is he going to overreact and put Thornton back in to find offense? Like there's so many different I just worry about Gallant really out coaching Peter DeBoer. That's, I think, my big concern with the series.
Yeah, that does make me nervous as well. That's why I'm saying I think if you could take that first game in Vegas, and especially if you can score early and get that crowd out of it, that would be huge. And of course, every time you're the road team or the one without home ice advantage, of course you want to split the opening two. Best case scenario, splitting the first two.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's going to say a lot about their chances. Like I think if they come home in a 2-0 hole, it's really hard to come back from that. Like that's almost death. So you have to win at least one of those two. Doesn't necessarily have to be the first one, but one of those two, you got to get one of them.
I think the first one would kind of maybe get into the heads of the Knights, just to scotch, maybe enough to get them off their game a little bit. But
they've never lost a playoff game in franchise history.
That's true.
Greatest playoff team of all time.
I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, if you look at, I think that's the thing for both of these teams too, because you never know. You can have all the game plans and everything you want, but you never know. You can't go into a fight. You never know what you're going to do until you get punched in the mouth. Neither of these teams have been punched in the mouth this playoff yet. Neither team has faced any adversity. So it's going to be really interesting to see, like, when adversity happens, whether it's the Knights or the Sharks or, who. Fleury, I think Fleury's been really, really good this playoff, and he's been good the last couple of playoffs. But if you can unwind him a little bit, we've seen Fleury completely unravel before. So, I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens when someone gets punched in the jaw.
Yeah. And speaking of the second round, by the way, if you are new here, subscribe, because I believe we are your only option starting the second round. We're the only game in town.
No, they. I believe they go through 2 rounds.
Oh, they go through 2 rounds. Okay, I thought
I
thought it's 1.
I heard it changed this year, but I don't know for sure.
No, Randy signed off for the season.
Oh, well, then okay, so we are your only, and if you haven't figured it out, that voice you heard, we have a turtleneck to announce. Kevin Lacey is joining us. And let me just address one comment in the chat, if I may. Steve Cropper is saying, we are playing on house money from here on out. Nobody expected this at the beginning of the year. I beg to differ. If I go back and listen to the preview, the Pacific Division preview that we did last, September, I had the Sharks in, and I think I might have had them at either third or wild card. So yeah, they finished a little bit better, but I certainly don't think we're playing with house money by any stretch.
I would say this is a second. I thought it was a team that could go as far as second or third round. So I would say if they get to the third round at that point, I would say they're playing well above expectations. I think second round is not that out there, especially if you just look at the way the division stacked up throughout the season. You're like they could definitely, as a second or third place team, I felt like of course they could beat whichever team ended up in the other one. Like I like that matchup a lot. I was like, if they fell the wild card, that was like, yeah, they probably die in the first round. But they got the right matchup. They're in the more favorable bracket because if they were to get to the conference finals, Winnipeg or Nashville would have to deal with the other. Yeah, so they can only have to face one of the two.
You know what? Quick in the chat, someone asking, doesn't NBCSN still do postgame afterwards? That, in fact, might be the case. So it might not be a case of Randy and Hetty actually calling the game, but we have seen that before where if it's a national broadcast, if they want to provide that local flavor, they'll do a live post game as soon as
they have like important A's games to cover now, though.
Well, I think more of them will be on NBC Sports Network though, so they will probably it'll be the national one with JR and all that.
No, because even they did this like when the Warriors went to on their runs the last couple of years, is that they'll obviously those games are broadcast nationally, but then as soon as the game was over, NBCSN would cut to live footage, the broadcast team doing post game. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Sharks and NBCS in California got together and did something like that. But as was pointed out, it would also have to do with what the A's conflicts could be. It's going to be funny if
that saying that the A's who draw like 500 people a game. I'm like, I think we actually have more subscribers on this channel than the A's have people attending.
Damn, that's so true.
That's cold. I'm sorry, Christine and other A's fans in there.
Dude,
they gave away free tickets and free parking to a game yesterday to celebrate their 50th anniversary of moving to the Bay Area, and they barely cracked 46,000, and they were expecting over 50.
We have a request in the chat to change the picture to the Puckeye Chia Pet. So,
man,
yes.
And as you're doing that, I'm actually I'm going to sign off here because I have a very early morning tomorrow to get back to San Diego. Felix saying, "Damn, that was colder than the ice at SAP." Well, I don't know. The ice at SAP is awfully slushy.
Yeah, it's kind of warm.
Yeah.
My
second least favorite slushy. All right, guys. Have a good night and go Sharks.
Yeah. Take it easy, brother.
Good night, Chris.
All
and
right,
please welcome the Chia Pet, Puckeye.
Oh, hey now.
Wow.
That was Chris.
Chia.
Chris JWS signing off and coming in just immediately. Puckeye 14. Anything else?
Well, I was just commenting on everything. Kudos to the Ducks fans who did reach out and said congratulations on a great series. And of course, I put up my tweet that coming up next on the Golf Channel, the Anaheim Ducks and the LA Kings golf tournament presented by the San Jose Sharks.
Nice.
Nice. We'll be doing a follow up with Ducks and Pucks by any chance.
We quite possibly will down the road. I would think by the end of this week.
I was going to say they might be a little too salty right now, but give them a day or two.
Yeah, I can't blame them. Yeah, and the number of things with them. Whoa, number of things with
we
them.
Can, we can never rub anything in because all they have to do is bring up two things. First off, no cups. Secondly, Owen, blowing a 3-0 lead. That's everybody's going to just hang their hat on those two things. Now, if a Kings fan's telling me that crap, yeah, okay, they have the 0-3 thing to hang their hat on. But for me, the whole when they sit there and go, how many cups do you have? And I'm like, how? I'm sorry, how many years did it take you to get your first cup? Like 50? Sharks haven't even hit 30 yet. So let's see. But Ducks fans, on the other hand, they're going to hang it on. Oh, where's your cup?
No, and then the worst part will be when Vegas wins the cup this year, and that'll be the scary part. Let's be real, folks. It's like, yeah, we did this in one. I mean, you guys talk about, this is the toughest trophy to win in sports.
No,
the sad thing is that is what's going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Could you going to get past the Jets or the Predators?
Could you imagine that happening? I mean, you talk about there are certain fans out there. You could say it about some Philadelphia fans. There are some Boston fans I've seen. There is definitely a ton of Vancouver fans. If
somebody say Vancouver?
If Vegas was to win the cup this year, there would be no living with that fan base ever again.
Oh no. And for that matter, good luck Raiders trying to steal that from them. Because even that you can't get that from them at all to win a title even before they get there. So, but now how big is that tweet, folks? That the Raiders wish the Vegas Golden Knights good luck, and who are they playing next?
Oh shh!
Yeah, wow. that tweet that tweet aged well.
And the irony that it was Kyle Shanahan that opened the door.
Oh, dude, right? Sharks. And he was pumped too. It was awesome.
Dude, he was psyched.
Well, and the thing that I really have gotten a kick out of, and it pisses me off, quite honestly, that I haven't been able to get down to either of the rallies, but I love the fact that the Sharks are using the alumni players to quote unquote flip the switch to playoff mode on. They used Danny Boyle on Monday. Tonight they used Jonathan Chichu. Yep. I also saw a video out there that they basically, like, the alumni had a table set up, and Douglas Murray was out there. Scott Hannon was out there. Mark Smith was out there.
Boyle was out there on Monday along with Crankshaft. And yeah, they definitely had a good long line of stuff. And they were giving away the hats if you were following all of them on their social media channels. So definitely something to look at from the Alumni Foundation.
Yeah. That was just so. I'm making it out to the next rally, and like it's like, okay, what alumni stuff do I own that I need signed still?
Yeah, right.
The LA Kings tweeted at the Anaheim Ducks saying, "We'll see you this weekend at Coachella."
Yeah, yes. Which I thought was great. You know what? Kudos to them having a good time at the same time. But shoot, man. I wish the one thing I wish I could say is I wish they would give us the schedule early, because it would be great to plan a quick trip to Vegas for the first two games of that series.
Those tickets are going to be like $500 for the upper bowl, the way the regular season pricing was.
Yeah, it'll be insane. But
it's gonna be silly expensive.
Yeah.
Did they even we know tickets go on sale Friday. Do we know any idea of when that schedule would even come out? I mean, they can't really put out anything until they won't know final series.
Yeah, they won't know the rest until the rest of the series are done. And in fact, we're the only one I think we know for sure which series who they're going to be playing.
That's right.
Already. So. Yeah, it's still early. I mean, Winnipeg can finish off tomorrow?
Yes.
Or is it? Yeah. So you would know that part, but Colorado and Nashville kind of had the 2 days off. So now they have, they're just going to Game 4. So
yeah.
Well, funny you should mention that. Let's get into the wraparound. The Penguins and what we all knew was going to happen. The Penguins have completely blown the doors off the Flyers yet again, and have taken the stranglehold 3-1 lead. And the Penguins can finish that off. Back at home in Pittsburgh for Game 5. Malkin, Kessel, Letang, Crosby, Sheehan all score in this one. Murray gets the win, and Elliott takes the big. He didn't. I'm surprised he didn't even get pulled. Lightning.
Sure he did.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay. Well, it only mentioned Elliott. So, Lightning over Devils 3-1. Tampa Bay taking their 3-1 stranglehold lead. Vasilevsky takes the victory. Schneider takes the loss. Miller, Kucherov again score for the Lightning. Palmieri scores for the Devils. And let me see. So, going through that so far, perfect in my bracket. The Nashville Predators take their 3-1 stranglehold lead over the Avalanche in what is probably the series we all wanted to bet the house on. Forsberg, Sissons, and Smith score for Nashville, with giving Rene the win. And Landeskog and Kerfoot would score for the Avs, but it just wasn't enough as Bernier takes the loss. And then, of course, we all know what happened. The Sharks sweep the Ducks back down to SoCal. If you looked at my Twitter feed last night after Vegas knocked out the Kings, I do believe I said, wow, can you imagine both SoCal teams getting swept in the first round?
Yeah,
with a gift that said, yes, I can.
But outside the that 8-1 shellacking, man, both goaltenders for Anaheim and LA did not get any offensive love.
No, they didn't.
And the goaltenders played pretty good, and I mean, it's sad to say that that sucks for them, but their offense. I
gotta tell you what though, man. I did not have a lot of faith in Gibby after, I believe it was the second goal in Game 1. If you looked at his body language after that second goal, he just, like, his shoulders came down and he just had this look of utter defeat. Like he was almost kind of like, you know what, just pull me. I'm not feeling it tonight. And it seemed to be like that throughout the series as it went on. And honestly, I'm surprised he didn't get pulled after like the fourth goal in Game 3. So, I'm sorry. That's all the time we have.
I don't
Eric,
think
you had a question in the chat from Laurel asking if her daughter ran into you at the game tonight.
No.
Yes, she did. She's in the back of my trunk. No.
Oh God.
Dun, dun, dun. No, I didn't, but I did run into a lot of people, and a lot of people were saying thanks for doing the show and the podcast, and really appreciate that. It gives me all the warm fuzzies inside that people are watching and are appreciating what we do, and have the burst of subscribers on the YouTube channel is just massive. I think we were at 691 going into the show on Monday night, and we're at what now?
Like 707, I think.
Shoot. So thank you, all of you. And while we're at the thank you, since I'm still sitting in the garage at San Pedro Square, let's give some kudos to the NBC Sports California crew. Obviously tonight was their last game coverage. I know they'll probably be doing other stuff down the road, but to Randy, Curtis, Hetty, Bakes, and we'll try to get some of them on again as well, along with that guy named Brody that I have to wear a freaking jersey for. Jesus.
No, this is great. We literally got 3 comments in a row. One saying 712, another one saying 711 subscribers, another one saying 714 subscribers. Now Jessica's saying 715. This is amazing.
Can we get 716? 716? 716? Yeah, 716. Can we get 717? 717.
Where are the Russian bots, people?
Yeah, exactly. We gotta whisper.
Yeah, we
gotta whisper. Remember, you gotta whisper.
Yeah.
We were on the golf channel earlier.
It's probably a good idea to whisper since Barry was.
Rob, wow, these guys did appear on camera and the sub shoot through the roof. It's true.
Wow. Wow. So Rob Humphrey can go suck a golf ball for
Yeah.
that one.
Brody Bonds.
I would love to just the fact that it was on the Golf Channel. I just would have loved to have watched that just for the commercials, because it's like all this hockey stuff and blah blah blah, and it's like, are you having a problem with your backswing? I mean, just all these try Cialis for golf. I mean, you could have so many different things going on. Let me see.
I thought
okay. I hate to
Anaheim Duck.
Right?
I thought it would be like coming up next on Celebrity Golfing, Drew Doughty versus Corey Perry.
Oh,
that would have been
right.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Because I can share my screen, I am going to post this. I don't feel good about it.
Maybe you shouldn't.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Oh, God. We'd like to apologize to those who were about to offend. Thank you very much.
So I'm sorry for offending you people, but that is in fact my bracket.
There it is.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay.
I'm looking strong on that Nashville series. As I'm sure everybody else is.
Yeah.
And we wish well to AJ Strong in all his future endeavors.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to show mine then.
I know it too, AJ. You know what though? I am a realist. Okay, I am a realist first.
That's why you do two brackets. You do one with the heart and the other with the realist. Although personally, I think between you and me, it's going to be all Sharks anyway. So might as well.
Well, and see, and nice knowing you, AJ. Thank you, Laurel. No, I remember specifically being at the sports book at Harvey's in Lake Tahoe during I believe it was, oh God, you're gonna have to help me refresh my it was like the last time the Sharks played the Red Wings and I think the
2011.
Yeah, it sounds right. And was that like 5 games?
That was the 7-game one. The
7 games.
5-game was 2010.
Okay, well then maybe it was 2010, because I just remember going up to the sports book and putting $50 on the Red Wings to win that game, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to win one of two ways. I am more than happy to lose $50 to watch the Sharks win this game, and if they don't, then I double my money and I can go, get some. So go play some more hands of blackjack or something. It's called hedging your bets, people.
Gotcha. So question, guys, to the locals there. So I'm at San Pedro Square. I think we need to celebrate hitting 711 subscribers. Where's the closest 7-Eleven? I'm thirsty for a Slurpee.
You go take a left on Santa Clara, and you go down probably about 20 blocks, and it's on your left side.
There's one on 8th Street, way the hell down there.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't go down to that one on the corner of like Santa Clara and 26th. That one's.
I wouldn't go to the one on 8th.
You know what? I got you. You know what you do? You go take a left on Santa Clara, make a right on 10th Street. And just before you hit the freeway, there's one between 10th and 11th. But the thing is, you have to go underneath the freeway, make a left, and then make another left and come up to the 7-Eleven that way. That's a solid 7-Eleven. I've been there many times in the dead of night.
Eric, just go to Tim Hortons.
Okay, let me just get on my magic carpet ride and get over to Vancouver then.
There you go.
Okay,
that's the closest one, right?
Yeah. And we've just lost 5 subscribers.
Right. Exactly. There we go.
All this talk.
All right.
Okay. So anyway, exactly, Felix. So I think we've kind of banged it all out here. I mean, Lacey, was there anything you wanted to add from? Oh, jeez. Now Alex is here. Oh, crap. All right. So I may just hand off this broadcast to somebody else at some point. But Kevin, we'll start with you, and then we'll go over to Alex. I mean, obviously, me, Chris, and Ian kind of got all of our stuff out. Is there anything you wanted to add?
No. Sharks played well. I thought the Ducks played well. Best game of the series in terms of hockey competition. But I'm glad that the Sharks showed that throughout the series they could beat Anaheim at both styles of game that they play, and that's why they swept them. So way to go, Team Teal.
There you go. Alex in his gorgeous suede jacket. Go ahead.
It is a nice jacket.
Yeah, Sharks played a great game tonight, and also I thought they would just execute the power play throughout the series, games 1, 2, and 3. Not particularly 4, but I thought this was the best game to watch tonight. But if Martin Jones wasn't on his game tonight, we could be looking at Game 5 in Anaheim, and I'm just glad they finished it up tonight.
Yeah, I'm so glad that they didn't let him breathe. And the other thing that I'm really happy about for them sweeping it is that now we don't have to hear any more or see any more damn graphics on screens that say, well, the last time the Sharks were up 3-0 in a series. I'm so tired of that narrative. It's like, okay, it's dead. You can stop beating it already. Christ. Dear Lord. Anyway.
F those people.
Yeah. I mean,
and that graphic was on apparently all over the place, especially Anaheim TV tonight.
Oh, of course. Lacey, do you want to do any bit of a preview of what you think people should watch for in the next round? Who do you think Vegas is, going to throw at the Sharks, and who PDB is going to have to prep for?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, it's just everybody.
What did
that
you
team
think?
is so.
What did you think of Baker's comments that team doesn't have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines? It has 3 second lines and a third line, and it doesn't have a top pair, a middle pair, and a bottom pair. It has 3 middle pairs.
Yeah, I knew what he was saying before he even said it. I completely agree. Although I mean, hey, William Karlsson and 41 goals and Marchessault and Perron, they can say, well, we're kind of a top line. They definitely can pot in all. What's that?
I said whatever line James Neal's on.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He's my X factor for Vegas. James Neal is, just as they say, the real deal. Especially in the playoffs, man. That guy can snipe it up. So Martin Jones is going to have to really stay on his game as he did those first 4 games here, because there's going to be a lot more offensive firepower coming towards the Sharks, and I hope the defense holds up. I hope Burns is okay. I hope Ryan gets into the lineup. I hope DeMello and Dillon. I thought DeMello and Dillon played pretty strong this series, and they weren't really being talked about. I was pretty happy with them. I'm hoping they keep it up too. So
I don't know that Braun and Vlasic got enough love for shutting down Raquel either.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully the same can happen with James Neal.
Hopefully,
and maybe, and they'll make a point that off of Kevin. We're not talking about Dillon and DeMello that much. I mean, that's probably a good thing.
No, that's a great thing.
That's a great thing.
Yeah.
Or Paul Martin.
Oh no, Chris!
You weren't here for all our Paul Martin talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people asking for Yoki Ryan in the next round.
Yeah,
I didn't think he was that bad, but
I actually thought Paul Martin played very well in the last game, but I mean, who didn't on the Sharks the last game?
That's true.
Well, and we'll see. Again, I don't think it's the whole idea of you don't fix it if it isn't broken. And right now they just swept the Ducks, so I think we'll see the exact same lineup in for Game 1, even if Thornton is ready to go. I think PDB maybe makes something up along the lines of, well, you know what? We really want to be sure, so we'll get you into Game 2. I mean, we'll see. He'd have to have a monster practice and be taking good contact. And by the way, Puck Guy, when you get home, if you could do me a favor and make me like a really cool graphic that says, technical difficulties, please stand by with the Teal Town logo, I'd appreciate that.
Do I dare ask why we're suggesting this?
Because I don't.
It's been audio only the whole show.
Yeah. Oh my God! Seriously?
Yeah,
the camera won't leave. The camera won't leave AJ.
Yeah,
the camera loves him. I mean, why wouldn't it?
That's why it's been on Doggy Wilson the whole time.
Oh, jeez.
Say it to my face, you MFer.
Oh, jeez. I would say I just come over there and work on Photoshop from there, but I like to go home eventually.
There you go.
There is one thing I would say look out for in this series, guys, and it's not even game 1, it's game 2. Because there's going to be a loser in game 1. One of these two teams is going to be 4-1 after game 1. So I'm really curious to see how that team fares in game 2.
Yeah,
and you wonder.
So huge for the Sharks to get that first game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I said. I said that earlier too. It's like who's going to get who's going to get punched in the jaw and how they're going to react, because that's what's going to happen. I mean,
yeah.
Metaphorically
speaking. Well, maybe not metaphorically speaking. This hockey. I mean,
I guess for me, it comes down to the goaltending. Is Fleury going to be being the same goaltender? Were the Kings just injury prone and they just shown flashes? I think they were a bad matchup for Vegas. I think we probably match up a little bit better against Vegas.
So were the Ducks. I mean, the Ducks were missing Cam Fowler. That would be like us missing Brent Burns.
Yeah. I guess both teams are playing pretty healthy at the moment compared to, we have Joe Thorne injured, but Vegas is, I don't think they have a major injury, just people who are slumping at the moment. Thomas Tatar is not really performing too well. That's my X factor is Fleury and Thomas Tatar. Are they going to show up?
Tatar had a good stretch there for a hot minute, but yeah, I can see that. The thing that also irks me a little bit too is that Fleury, he's so damn rested. I mean, how many goalies did Vegas go through this season?
4 or 5.
I mean, how many regular season games did Fleury actually play this year? About 27. That's a very rested goalie you have there.
And that's a big key for Vegas. And Fleury's played very well. I think there's a bit of it's like, I'm not done yet. Not to steal the Barracuda hashtag, but there's a bit of him that says, okay, guys, I'm still capable of winning games and winning playoff series.
I still think
there might be a little bit in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the Penguins get past the Capitals last year without Fleury. And now, like, the thing that everyone, like, not that everyone forgets, but I think a lot of things overlooks when everyone's gushing over Matt Murray is Fleury carried them through 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of the playoffs. So I mean, it's not like he's definitely capable.
And there was even that matter of maybe having them meaning Murray and Fleury, being co-Conn Smythe winners, which you could have considered in a little sense. So,
has that happened before?
No. Play this 7-Eleven's a little sketchy. I'm going to another one. Damn.
He's going to 7-Eleven at 11:30 at night, and he says, this one's a little sketchy. I don't think you're going to have much luck anywhere else.
Dude,
this one's not that bad.
You should have gone to you should go to that 7-Eleven. What is it? It's like 11th and San Antonio. It's right near the campus.
I'm at the one that's on what's between 6th and 7th on San Salvador, and that's just
there's your problem.
No.
Yeah, there's your problem.
No.
Yikes.
Let's not get shot on air.
Can you tell we're locals?
Let's not get shot, period, but especially not on air.
Can you tell we're locals?
The next time we get shot on air would hopefully be during an on ice demo where me or I don't know, maybe AJ can be dressed as a goaltender. We take a shot from Brent Burns or something.
No, you want to go on full sketch sometime? About Friday at about 2 a.m. Go hit up that Jack in the Box at 4th and San.
Oh God, no.
yeah, dude.
I went to that when I went to school here. Oh hell no.
No. Yeah, I've walked there a couple times from my work, and I feel super on edge when I walk in there.
Like I feel really white right now.
That too.
Hurdle would not be safe already, for that matter, in that area. Anywho, sorry to throw it off the rails again.
Super off the rails.
Yes.
Just for those of you in the chat, strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
That's true. Okay, I think we've pretty much beaten this one into the ground, boys.
I mean, we're talking about getting shot at a 7-Eleven, so I think...
Yeah, I think it's kind of gone off the rails enough. So we'll move on. Again, do us a favor. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button on the bottom there. Hit the little notifications to let you know every time we go live, which is after every single Sharks game. We also occasionally will go live to discuss other interesting things, like say, I don't know, when maybe all of the playoff rounds are decided, we might do a little preview for the second round. Who knows?
Or maybe you know, a Barracuda After Dark after tomorrow's game 1.
There you
go. Quite possibly might happen. Well, heck, we might even project maybe do another version of Sharks Jeopardy.
I wasn't there for the first one, so I would love to do that.
That's right. That's right, folks. The return of Jersey Math.
Potato.
I'm gonna kill Jersey Math.
And the other thing I can let you guys in on a little bit of a secret. I am doing an interview with a Sharks alum tomorrow evening that should be posted either tomorrow evening or bright and early Friday morning, one of those two. But I don't want to let the cat out of the bag until it's actually done and like in the can and ready to post. So look for that tomorrow night. And that's probably it. Aside from that, look for the Barracuda After Dark with Lacey and Ian, and Teal Tinted from Ian. I'm sure will be another one popping out soon. And oh my God, people guessing Marty Havlat. No, that is not it. That is not my You know, I was gonna have Marty Havlat on, but like he's out for 6 weeks when he tried to answer the phone.
Is it
That's
true?
Oh, if it's Ema, we would have to have Alex do the whole show.
No, Sleepy Mofo asking if it was Ed Belfort. No, we couldn't afford the strippers.
Yeah, we couldn't afford
money to get out.
Steve asking if it was Mark Bell. No, I didn't have that much booze.
Yeah, they both already used their one phone call.
Yeah, Mike Brown. No, I could not find any cowbell or teddy bears for that matter.
I feel like I'm watching Puck Guy get shot at the moment.
Chichu.
This is
This reminds me of the Smashing Pumpkins video for 1979. I need you to start breaking stuff, Puck Guy.
Yeah.
Those of you who are
Jane's Addiction, been caught stealing.
Yeah.
Those of you who are listening to the show, we are able to actually see Eric's video feed, which is a good thing because we can verify whether or not he is safe.
That's true. We can determine whether or not we have to phone the authorities.
Oh no.
Let me see. Well, okay. So somebody's saying it's got to be Boyle, it's got to be Hanner, it's got to be Nabby, it's got to be Nolan. You will find out.
All right. I got a jet though, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, me too. Take it easy, Ian. So again, smash that subscribe button. Do us a big favor. Hit subscribe on the SoundCloud as well. That would be awesome.
Is it a broadcaster?
Is it SoundCloud? SoundCloud does all our broadcasts.
Okay.
What are you talking about? I think something was lost in translation.
Yeah.
Anyway, do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button. We're out of here. We will, you know what? Again, subscribe, go to tealtownusa.com. You can find out everything that happens there. We got to go, man. It's late. Sharks swept, and I need to go buy a new broom. So have a great night, everybody.